Adel, we've started off with operators telling us how hard life is and tough. Give us reasons to be cheerful about the market.
I don't see the market as difficult. I see the market, first of all, is stable. I can see very stable movement this year compared to last year. Even comparing with the number of airplanes, you know, in our region, Middle East, North Africa, there is 557 airplanes registered, in addition to 51 AOC plus 33 FBO. So I believe it's good combination for this region to have like stable business. So I don't see any difficulty in the business here.
I basically see the similar overview because I'm monitoring the 5 operators within Dubai South, and I see the numbers of movement are increasing. So I don't see that negative vibe of the general aviation business within at least Al Maktoum airports.
But Dubai South, I guess, is growing fast from a fairly low original base. It's a new airport, I guess.
Yes, actually we are ready for it. I think the government invested a long time ago in the infrastructure with our partner here, Jetex, Aviation, and the rest of the operators, plus MROs, which is already operating from this location. We found out that we are ready for the next 5-10 years for the future, and the government basically investing heavily to expedite this process. We are investing in superstructure, infrastructure, and substructure itself. So I think the future is there. I see growth within 5 to 7% of actually new aircraft coming to these regions. I see some turmoils in some countries within the region itself. But the future is bright for us. This is what we see right now.
This is so different to the first panel. Captain Raman, the operators have so far managed to depress everyone. Are you going to do the same?
Actually, I tend to agree with Oliver's assessment when he said the high income net worth people are becoming richer. They have the money, so the region is not short of money. So I don't see any negative impact on this. It's just there was a kind of a plateau, which again we see the growth coming up in the next coming years. So I think the aircraft deliveries will continue and there will be growth. So it may not be exponential, but it can be sustainable.
Steffen, you were last night telling me how you think the Middle East is booming.
I mean, boom is, I have a similar view like Adel and Holger before, where in the morning panel it was said it's flat, interesting and challenging. If you look back at the last 5 years, and I come from an operator perspective with chartering out, so we have a fleet of 20 aircrafts, floating base. I've recently brought 2 aircrafts, the Challenger 604 and the Falcon 2000 LX to the region. And we've seen over the last 5 years, according Eurocontrol and Avinode, year-on-year growth of about 20 to 25%, predominantly in the heavy jet segment. So the Challenger, the Falcon, the Legacy, the G450 are the most requested aircrafts in the region. I don't know, there are 5% more trips to the region than from the region to Europe, so I don't know where these aircraft disappear finally. But so I can say yes, on the charter market, it is growing. It has dropped a little bit due to the Qatar and Saudi situation. But overall, tremendous growth since 2012 on charter.
Okay, easy question, Tariq. What will the market look like in 2028, 10 years' time?
Okay, 2028.
Number of aircraft, number of airports, what do you think?
I've seen every year growth from 5 to 7% every year. So I've seen the numbers of aircraft coming from outside of this region. Plus this region are now servicing CIS country, Africa, India subcontinent. So we've seen, like always, growth in Dubai. And the incentive that Dubai government give for private owners and international operators, there is no match anywhere in the world.
Adel, how big will Jetex be in 2028?
For sure. First of all, we are targeting 2020. We are targeting to have 50 FPO in our network by 2020. Now we are managing 29 FPO. Looking forward to achieve 50 FPO by 2020.
So that's adding, gosh, my maths is poor. 31 in the next
21.
21, even better, in the next.
It's a target.
This is why the journalist and not
Looking forward.
21 in the next 2 years, so that's 200 in the next 10.
The platform that we built is very strong, and being in Dubai is a big advantage for us. And this is how we start the brand to be global. And now we are in a position to we build the platform, we build the strong training member which can give us capability to manage and operate any FPO. This is why we are optimistic to having 50 FPO by end of 2020.
And by 2028, how big will your business in the Middle East be?
For Jetex, we target to keep our business in boutique side. We don't want to be mass everywhere because then no one can cover the world, regardless if you have 200 location or 100 location. So we target to be in a boutique position, maintain the mix between hospitality and aviation, and having a key location in all the region. This is the target.
So how big is Falcon's fleet now?
We have 35 aircrafts now, and 22 helicopters and 30 fixed wing. So, I mean, going back to the aircraft deliveries forecast for MENA region, we expect 350 aircraft deliveries over 10 years. And so, of course, presently maybe there are 450. We also realize that there is an infrastructure requirement. MROs are required for business jets. There's a lack of MROs. So we have gone to a huge investment into MRO business, which we already have in Abu Dhabi. We started, now we're growing into Dubai South. There's a huge project in Dubai South which will be completed end of this year. So we also become a huge, besides being operator, we are going to be a huge MRO service provider. We want also into business jets FBOs. And we also provide helicopter services to business jet operators to get connectivity. So it's an overall three-pronged approach to encourage the industry to grow.
I just want to say something to the MRO. We spoke in the morning that the maintenance might be a limiting factor. What we see at the moment is where I feel that the OEMs have to invest more is the spare part support. As we have, as European operators being here in the region, we have more or less a 3-day weekend from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's very difficult getting spare parts out of custom. It's very difficult. I mean, Bombardier has spare parts in the States, Bombardier has spare parts in Frankfurt, Bombardiers don't have on stock anything here in the region. So I think a limiting factor at the moment, which is a hassle for no matter if it's a private operated aircraft or commercial operated charter aircraft, is a little bit the support on the infrastructure. I would really ask the OEMs to see this as an investment in the future, not wait for another 7 globals before you put on some stock here, but to invest in spare parts upfront.
Everyone agree with that?
Yes, but I've seen some intention from some of the companies to come to do a logistic for the MENA region from actually Dubai South. I've seen some inquiries, discussions, so the interest is there, but I think it needs a plan, it needs a process. I think it's coming quite soon, so within 3-4 years, I think they have to be here because Dubai are catching up with the general aviation business. So by providing services for the owners of the aircraft, they have to be closer to them.
Adel, you're not tempted to get into maintenance?
There's no plan to be in the maintenance business.
We've got tough questions now for the last panel. If we can go to the slides, just so I can prove it's not me asking these. Tariq, can you confirm when DXB will close for regular business jet flights and migrate to DWC?
This is way beyond my pay level, so I don't think I can tell you.
Well, as soon as possible is your answer.
I think general aviation will move before 2020. Most of the operators will be moving to Dubai South. In terms of Emirates and Fly Dubai, it is totally different ballroom, so I cannot comment on it.
I knew you didn't want to, I'm sorry, I should have. Well, I have actually left up someone being rude about my math skill to show that we all suffer. Steffen, is MHS planning to open an office in the UAE?
The first thing we're going to do is bring more aircraft to the region. So as I said, at the moment we have 2 aircraft based here. One I think arrives tonight in Riyadh. The other is at the moment, unfortunately, with ExecuJet in Al Maktoum. Yeah, but we see a high demand on heavy jets with bigger seat capacity. So an 8-seater in the region doesn't seem big enough. So people are asking for 12 and 10, 12, 14 seaters. So we're also the globalist, maybe not the ideal aircraft, because if we have 8 or 10 passengers, we recently got a request with 135 pieces of luggage. So this is then the VIP airliner, what we had in the morning. But first step is more aircraft in the region, a fleet of 4 or 5 until the end of the year. And I'm glad to see that with our European cost structure, we're still competitive here as a charter operator. And if you ask me until 2028, yes, we will have a presence over here. Is it until 2020? Not sure yet.
Okay. Adel, this is a really interesting question. We're getting quite philosophical now. The term FBO is often misused. Actually, I have to say I agree with this. I think we probably need a better word, because the FBO is so outdated. It's from the days of flying aircraft around the States. Can you define what is meant by an FBO?
Fixed base operation.
Can we get more than that, or is that
a lovely lounge?
What is an FBO?
FBO for us, for Jetex, it's hotel lobby, where you check in, but you will go to Airbnb instead of go to your room or your suite. This is how we define our FBO.
So you're a hotel lobby without a hotel?
Yes, but our hotel is, our room is the runway.
Okay. Gosh, the questions are getting more aggressive. It's important to note, Steffen, you can have this one, that a business jet, this is very philosophical, this could be a nice tea towel. A business jet is a tool for doing business, but it's not a business in its own right. Discuss.
No, but I would agree it's a business jet. If you look at the city pairs we are serving with our fleet, I would say maybe 2 or 3 times a month you find a holiday destination. Yes, in the summer you do find Nice. But on all other destinations, I mean, tomorrow we fly from Riyadh to USCC or USS, somewhere, I mean, in Kazakhstan, they don't go there for holiday for sure. So I think, as I can say from our experience, it's used as a business tool, because otherwise I can't take 8 passengers on a Falcon 2000 for holiday with all the luggage. So it's mainly hand luggage, what we see, 2-day trips in and out. I think you have the experience on the luggage size that you would confirm the majority.
To be honest with you, this depends on the passenger and destination. Mainly the people who's flying to European destination can, if the nationality are from the GCC, we find a lot of luggage. Especially going for a long holiday, but we're going for a short visit, no one will suffer for any big size of luggage.
Okay, go back to the take on the future, and I'll come back to the other questions. Do you believe innovations, actually Steffen, you should answer this question, having just left a charter software company a few years ago. Do you believe innovations in charter software can change the industry?
I think it cannot, I think it will change the industry. If you look today at the value chain of a flight, from a customer, the principal, the assistant, the broker, the operator, the FBO or handling agent or hotel with no room. I mean, we have a chain of information which is incredible, And the assistant calls the broker calls us. We have to reconfirm the catering with the handling agent. Has it been loaded? Then we look at ATC on movement messages, because not all aircraft today are equipped with spider tracks or things. So I think software is the most important thing is to have a better integration of information. This is where we we waste resources on all sides, on the broker side, on the operator side, on the family office side, on the FBO side, and this is human resource is still the most cost-effective position in our balance sheet.
Captain Raman, what do you think? Is it?
There are two distinct markets. One is holiday makers, and one is, coming back to the previous question, and also there is business need. So the two distinct markets as a company realize, so we want to grow both the markets differently. Software is definitely, these kind of solutions will help the industry, definitely. We always are innovating ways to improve our efficiencies with software solutions. So such kind of innovations will definitely be needed.
I mean, just to give you an example of what I said, the payment is for us on charter flights an issue here, because there is the Friday, as I mentioned, we have the Saturday and the Sunday. So it's great to see that a platform like Avinode now introduces Paynode, where brokers can pay a kind of an escrow agent, where I definitely know if the broker is on Paynode, I know I get my money on Monday or Tuesday and don't have to worry to position an aircraft from Biggin Hill to Riyadh, you know, spending like 25,000 euros on DOC and not get my money for the revenue flight.
I think with the blockchain technology, today some of the layers of the aviation will be lower. So it's for the good sake of the industry itself. So right now there is so many brokers in the business, there are so many people who's handling this business. That's why the cost of operating is so high. Margin is not as good, but with the blockchain technology, I think more technology will be involved and more lean deals will be happening without interfering with a lot of brokers.
That's interesting. Okay, you've mentioned blockchain, so you get the next question.
Come on.
Tariq, as Dubai is considered a smart city, what kind of innovations do you see in the future to change an FBO to a smart FBO?
Well, the experience that we are trying to give for high worth individuals is the experience that he's supposed to have seamless transaction between aircraft to actually his car. So we're introducing new smart gates, for example, one of the initiatives by the government of Dubai, particularly in Dubai government. This will enhance the services of the FBOs. Other thing that the government can be quite smart in implementing the latest technology, which is will be implemented in Dubai first, and will help seamless transaction between all stakeholders from the government, semi-government, and also private sectors.
You define what an FBO is. Would you like to define what a smart FBO is?
Looking forward, you know, we start seeing smart hotel now in the world. It's like you come in, there's no reception, no one will check in. You go direct to your room. For sure, this cannot be replicated in the FBO, but I'm sure there is a way to be a smart FBO, and we already start looking to this direction and looking forward to be like in this position as well soon.
You're getting a lot of FBO questions. Here's a question for you as an FBO operator. Is there a limit on how many FBOs should you have at one Dubai airport? You'd say one, Jetex.
It's customer request. They can decide how many FBO. But for the time being, between Dubai South, we have, which is Tariq license, we have 5 FBO.
And is 5 FBOs sustainable?
Yeah, 5 is, I think 1 too much. I think 4 could do. But anyway, we have to compete and come out with better solutions.
Okay. I'm afraid my computer's died, so I can't move the questions on that. Jetex question for you. Having increased your business model to FBOs, are you doing that because you see trip planning as something that may become more commoditized in the future?
No, not at all. But for us in Jetex, we see like having FBO and flight support makes sense because we are offering the customer one-stop shop, full coverage, full service. This is why we are increasing our network. It's not a matter of like we focus on the FBO and we are not investing in the flight support. We are investing heavily, even more the investment in the flight support. We are upgrading our system. We are having now 3 operation centers, one in Miami, one head office in Dubai, and one in Beijing. Flight support is the main, and I don't believe it will be die, even because all the business need is start with the service.
Steffen, earlier we had a great panel looking at Saudi Arabia and bringing in off restrict. Are you concerned about things like that, or do you see that as an opportunity?
I mean, we see the Saudi situation, we see it as an opportunity. At the moment, we have 5 passengers who charter regularly our aircraft, who are aircraft owners, not wanting to touch their own aircraft. I think times of uncertainty. I mean, the charter is the most flexible thing you can do. There is no obligation. It's a one-off, pay as you go. And I think the charter is the beginning of every growth, right? We see it on the very light jet market with companies like Globair or Surfair. So every growth starts from historic data, looking at historic data with charter before we see a growth then in the acquisition and possession of additional aircraft. So yes, we see it as an opportunity.
Okay, do we have any questions from the room? So this morning, everyone had to define the next year in one word. So let's make it easier. Can you all define the next 10 years in one word for the industry? So how will the business aviation market fare over the next 10 years in one word? Don't all rush.
Digital.
Digital. Nice.
I think they're going to be more lean and flexible.
Flexible.
Yeah.
Sustainable.
Nice. That's optimistic.
I would say growth in charter. I don't know if there is one word to
Grow.
growth from our point, growth in the region.
Okay.